everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my floss tube channel, Stitching on the Rock. It's January 2nd and this is episode 28. And I hope that's not backwards. I've been holding off on doing this video for 3 days and hope that the sun might come out and I might have some better lighting. It's not happening. So welcome to my living room floor. I wanted the tree in the background of at least one video, so this is the only way to do it. Yeah, I hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday, whatever you celebrate, and Happy New Year, and ignore the green lights in my glasses. We had a good one. It was quiet. It was wet. Yeah, everything went pretty well. We had a nice small family Christmas. Not a lot of exciting stuff. And it was green as green could be. Actually, today we're getting snow. It's the first time we've seen any sign of snow in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I think I mentioned on one of my videos, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before, that we had one snow day. We've had lots and lots and lots of rain. Yeah, it wasn't, it was miserable weather-wise Christmas, and that's enough complaining about that. And I'm sitting here thinking, I already forgot something. Hold on one second, I will be right back. Sorry about that. I was going to say I was going to try and make this look as organized as possible. A minute in, I realized I forgot something. Anyway, I'm going to try to make this as organized as possible. I had planned originally to do a WIP parade on my next video because it was going to be the video closest to my 1-year floss anniversary. But I decided to take part in the New Year's Eve 12 by 12 little challenge that Katie B and Stephanie, I think, someone organized on Instagram for New Year's Eve, that between noon and 12 midnight that you worked on a different project every hour. You could be team new starts, which means you started 12 new things, or team WIPs, which means you worked on 12 different WIPs, which I did. So I thought, well, if I'm showing you 12 WIPs, I've only got like 18 or 19, so might as well show you all at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do today. And to tell you, I finished 2022 with 24 finishes, which is amazing to me because I really used to do full coverage and Mirabilias and I hardly ever finished anything. So I started doing some small things for 2022. For those of you that are new, sorry, see, I'm not organized at all. Welcome. For anyone who's new subscriber, anyone who's watching for the first time, sorry, I'm so disorganized. And please, if you're watching, think about subscribing. And anyone who's been with me for almost a year now, thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate you all tuning into my crazy mixed up stuff that I ramble about. Anyway, 24 finishes. I finished the last one the day after Christmas, so that was great. 8 of those were gifts, so I can't share those. I have some pictures, but I wasn't going to show all of them unless you want me to. If you want to see the things I finished last year, let me know in the comments and I'll add them into the next video gladly. But I will show you 2 of my last 3 finishes. One is not quite fully finished, but 2 of them are. So first up, and I'm so happy about this and I love it so much, my thread that I ran out of for Ornamental Joy by Cottage Needleworks turned up on Christmas Eve, so I finished it. But then I went through my little tiny stash of finishing things and I didn't have anything to put it on. So I had to wait till the stores open to go to Michael's and find something to to put it on. And then in order to put the stitching onto that piece of board that I bought, I needed some heavy duty glue. So I had to get to Walmart to get some Gorilla Glue because I knew that my regular glue would not hold it onto the board. Excuse me. Sorry. Here we are. Ta-da! And I will bring it in so you guys can see. Well, I'm not used to sitting on the floor, and my camera is actually on its pile of boxes in front of me. So there you go. So it's stitched 2/2 on 28 count. I think it was ivory or off-white Lugana that I then dyed with tan RIP dye to give it that kind of modelly, antique-y looking feel. And then the fabric, I got at Michael's, and it's the one that, if you watch my last video with the Santas that I did for my son's teachers, it's the same red snowflake fabric. And then, like I said, the board came from Michael's, and it was just plain, and I painted it white, not like fully painted. You should still be able to see a bit of the wood grainish color coming through. And these are 2 picks that I got at Dollarama, which is our local dollar store if you're not in Canada. And oh my god, the glitter. My house is covered in glitter from these 2 picks. Like, I've shopped for it, and I know when I've come away, my hands have had glitter on them. But this has covered everything in my on my dining room table and the floor, and it all needs a good scrubbing up after I get all of the Christmas stuff put away. So yeah, I really love it. Now it does have a hanger, but I've just been having it on my bookcase, and I doubt that I'm going to hang it up, but you never know. And my second fully finished, although I'm not sure if I'm going to add a little decorative something. I think it looks fine the way it is, but let me know if you think I should add something to it. It's the Joyful World series from the Snowflower Diaries. It's a free series of monthly small designs, and I wanted you may see a 4-legged friend or hear her, but right now she's looking at the glitter. She has to stop that. I wanted a monthly design that I could put up, but a lot of them are American designers, and so therefore their July has American 4th of July designs, and their November is Thanksgiving, and October is usually Halloween. So switching them around, because Canadian Thanksgiving is October, you would have a Halloween design for November, which would be weird. So this one has all animals on it, and I'm rambling. Sorry. So here's Janyary. Oop, it doesn't look good. I put it on with washers and magnets, and gravity is not a friend. I may have to add another one. So the fox and the crow, and the piece, it's 2/2. Everything I do is, everything I do is full coverage, full crosses. This is 2/2. Most things I do is 2/2, except for a couple of my Heaven and Earth designs. But anyway, it's done 2/2, and the fabric is goldenrod, which is an orangey yellow, which is not one of my colors, so I probably wouldn't have stitched on it to begin with. And then I just dumped it with pearl gray and tan RIP dye. And I have February stitched that I'll show you in my plans. And I also dyed that fabric too. I wanted to grungy it up because the patterns are on a fabric that's kind of grungy looking. But anyway, I'll show you the fabric for February is when I get to my plans, which is just a small bit at the end of this video. I'll try not to make it way too long, but we'll see. Yeah, so WIP parade. Sorry, excuse me. My allergies have been going wacky the last couple of weeks. I'm allergic to dust. And once you come inside in the winter and the electric heat goes on, I get all. And especially now the weather hasn't been that good, so I haven't been out in the fresh air that much. So let's go with the what I did for the New Year's Eve 12 by 12. So first one I picked was, let me get the picture. And I forgot to take a picture. Well, I worked on it a bit before New Year's Eve, and I forgot to take a picture before that, but I have a picture of where it was before I started the New Year's Eve, and I'll put it up there. It's Quick Stitch Iris by Josephine Wall for Heaven and Earth Designs, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. That's it. This is my oldest Heaven and Earth design that I've been working on, and it's also the smallest, so it's gone into my plans, and I'll tell you about that later. But I forgot to take it off the Q-snap because I worked on it a bit yesterday, and I was going to work on it some more today, but I'll take it off the Q-snap so you can see the whole thing. So it is, I started this in about 2018. I didn't write down the exact, but I went back through my pictures on Instagram and Facebook to see if I could figure out when I started, and I think it was around 2018. And it's stitched 2 over 2 on a 28 count even weave, and I don't know the name. I did it before I started keeping track. I started before I started keeping track. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to hold it up for you guys to see. So this is where we are. So I worked on these greens and kind of pinky purples right here. Before New Year's Eve, I had stitched 322 stitches on it. 322, and then I stitched 88 stitches on New Year's Eve, and then I added 73 in it yesterday because after stitching for 12 hours I didn't really want to stitch on. So in total I have stitched 483 stitches since you saw it last. So once again, here we are. So I have page 1 and 2 done. This is page 3 and this is page 4, and I've kind of been working kind of across both of them trying to get it all done. So that's that one. Sorry, if you don't put it back in the bag, it'll be a mess, and I had enough mess to clean up yesterday because once the alarm went off that the hour was done, that one got thrown on the floor and the next one got picked up. It was hilarious to watch me. So next up, I stitched on my oldest Mirabilia, Adia. And I don't know when I started this. It was before 2015, so this is my oldest Mirabilia. And oh, there she is there. And I said when I stitched, I'll put up a picture because I did remember to take a picture of her before I started, and you won't see a whole lot of difference. I did 108 stitches on her, which was over half blending filament, and I think blending filament stitches should be counted as 2 stitches because of that. And I think if she didn't have blending filament, she would have been done before this. So here she is. Let's see if I can get her up and in. I got her all? No. Yeah, that should be everything I've got stitched. Bring her in again. And what I stitched was that little bit of bluey green, and you probably cannot see because of the sparkle in the fabric. She's stitched on an even weave. I don't know the name of it. It's an even weave opalescent, and it's from Silk Weavers, I'm pretty sure. But can you see the blending filament right here? Once I get the rest of the stitching done, it'll show up better, but it's because I'm sure you can see it here. Right here is the same part on the other side. And and she features in my future plans as well. And the third piece I stitched on was, let me go. I have these little cards that I'm looking at down below that show all the information of when I started, what I'm stitching it on, how I'm stitching it, to help me keep track of them. So the next one I stitched on was Mini Sunflower by Marianne Broome for Heaven and Earth Designs. And this picture is so nice and big. And every other pattern I have, the picture is like this big. But it's nice to see that one so big. So this one I stitched 76 stitches, and I did take a picture before. But you probably won't notice a whole lot of difference because it was 76 confetti stitches. So it stitched 1/1 on 25 count daffodil, and this is where I am, and I stitching along block by block, but I noticed that when I do block by block I get lines. I think my tension in my stitching is a little tighter than it really should be, but I have that problem with my knitting too, so I've now converted to doing the diagonal. So all of my confetti stitches were around the center of this flower here, so you probably won't notice a difference from the picture to this. That was number 4, and number 5 is, move my cards around, Fleur-de-lis by Jeannette Designs. And I have the whole, it's part of our Canadian Journey series, and I have the whole set of designs, and I'm going to stitch all of them eventually. And I have the wall above my couch is blank, so my dream is to have them all going, you know, west to east, across my east to west, if you want to go that way, whichever way you want to go, across this on the wall above my sofa. We'll see. So this is Fleur-de-lis. Hopefully you can see. I know there's glare, but I'm doing my best. So there you go. So once again, I got 52 stitches in. That's because that was supper time, and I have to feed my child apparently. So I only got. So you can see in the, I'll put the picture up that the loom was partly done beforehand, and the loom is finished. There's the whole thing that I have done. Here's my loom. I have 2 more to do across. That's also in my plans, my January plans. And if you hear Kitty, she's found something to bat at on the floor. And 6th, I did Quick Stitch Pride and Prejudice by Aimee Stewart. Oh, picture. Like I said, well, this one is not terribly small, but this is part of a bigger design by Aimee Stewart. I always think that I'm going to look up and tell you exactly what the name of it is. And I never remember, but I think it's Heroes and Heroines, maybe. But it's got, well, I have another quick stitch from it, the Anne and Gilbert from Anne of Green Gables, and I remember there's Romeo and Juliet, and I think Cleopatra and Anthony? I can't, sorry. And there might be a couple more, but so this one I got 94 stitches in. So once again, I'll put the picture up of what it looked like before. And I'm doing this is, you can see my diagonal stitching that I've started doing on Sunflower. on this one. And oh, hang on. Sorry, trying to get it. Let me see. I always hold it wrong. It goes this way. This way? Yeah. Yeah. I always hold it wrong. So, there you go. And the 94 stitches. I went into this part right here, which is Elizabeth's dress, and it's 822 and 3770, so not a whole lot to see. But once again, this one is in my plans, so I'll get to hear all about how I'm going to work on all of these this month. And then next I did Mirabilia, which I started last March for Mirabilia March. Say that 10 times fast. Circle of Friends. And this one I got 93 stitches done. Which again, you won't notice a whole lot of difference. This is stitched. Did I tell you what? I don't think I told you what. I didn't tell you what Fleur-de-lis and Pride were stitched on. Fleur-de-lis is stitched on a ivory, 2/2 on ivory evenly, and Pride and Prejudice stitched 1/1 on 28 ice blue Lugana. Sorry. So Circle of Friends is stitched on 28 count Boo linen. That's the name of the linen, Boo. It's a light gray. So here is where I am. This is the middle girl, the one that's got the yellow on. And so what I did is I stitched the Kreinik and color into her headband, and I have another Kreinik to go in there that I couldn't find, but I did find it after. And then I stitched a little bit more of her hair. And that's what I did. And then number 8, this one I forgot to take a before picture of, but I stitched 100 stitches, so there's not a whole lot of difference between what it looked like before and what it looks like now. And this is Mini Hometown Hero Baseball by Dona Gelsinger. There it is there. And I'm also doing this one on 1/1 on 28 count Sapphire Blue Ghana. And there we are. Not a whole lot. And once again, I feel like I'm holding it wrong, which I am. Yeah, this way. So I mostly put a little bit more in here, and there's a little bit of pink there, and mostly like off-white ivory color. And that's what I did with that one. Next, sorry about the zipper. Next, I did another one I started for the Mirabilia March. Sorry. I just brain is going a mile a minute trying to get out everything. And my words are getting all jumbled. And it was Nora Corbett, the letter D. Now I did a lot of changes with this one. Let me see. So, move up. So all the yellow flowers I changed to pink. And the little the little pinky colors. I changed to yellow. Let me see, I got, nope. All the yellow colors, yes. And all the little tiny pink colors, I changed to yellow because yellow is my least favorite color. And so I wanted the predominant flowers not to be yellow. And I haven't touched the fairy, but I'm pretty sure her dress will be going to the pinky purples. So, once again, where I was. And on this one, oh, this one is stitched on 32 count spring garden. And I put in 88 stitches. Oop. Right, wait. Needle minder, that's the fabric cut. And so I put them in right here, this pink flower, the leaves, a little bit up here. So that's where I got the stitches put in. And that one was number 9. Number 10 was Queen of Hearts, which was my birthday start in May. And the last time I picked it up to stitch on it, I found a mistake and I pulled out what I had done, which wasn't a whole lot. It was less than 1%. I mean, this is the biggest design I'm working on. I had less than 1% done, so and I restarted. This one is by Rachel Anderson. There you go. And like I said, I've said there's like 80,000-ish of 310 and or 70,000-ish of 310 and 80,000-ish of 814. So it's a lot of burgundy and black. So I didn't take it, well, I did take a before picture, but there wasn't much to see because after I frogged it all, I put a little bit back in, and then I did 111 more stitches on it, and they're all 310, so it's a little black blob there, and that's it. So there isn't a whole lot to see, but I'm hoping to get some more work on it this year. Well, I know I will at least one point. Yeah. It was disappointing to frog, but I've redone it a little differently because when I started it, I was trying to do feathering back and forth and I was getting confused. And I've determined that I can't do that. So I'm doing it diagonally, but I've widened out the diagonal a bit to do 3 blocks at a width. I hope that makes sense. The last 2, by this time it was 10 o'clock and I was getting pretty tired, so I didn't get a whole lot of progress done on the last 2 pieces that I worked on. The number 11 that I worked on was Mirabilia Mermaids of the Deep Blue. Right here. And I got 68 stitches in it, but I'll post up a picture of what it looked like before, and definitely won't see a whole lot of difference in this one. This is a really big piece to show. So let's see. Will I get it all? I can get it all. Okay, so as you can obviously, I'm working on this mermaid over here, and I worked on the green, a little bit of green there, not much progress, but this is started, I didn't tell you when I started all the other ones except for the oldest 2, but this one was started around 2017, so this is like my 3rd oldest, and it's stitched 2 over 2 on 28 count, and it's just an aqua. I'm not sure what the actual name is. I don't know if it even had a name to start with. And finally, well, it's number 11, but it was the last one of my WIPs, because at 11 o'clock I started and put a few stitches into my New Year's New Start, which I'll show you after I get through the rest of my WIPs from last year. So the last one I did of my WIPs was Snowflake Wonder, which is this one, and it's by Lisa Victoria, and he's so cute. I got 67 stitches on this one. Yeah. So just, this is where he is. So I just did a little bit more of the green down here of his face. I'll show you again. Oh, I've got done. And you saw this last video, and so the difference between what it was like before and now is barely anything. Okay. So that was 11 of my 12 pieces that I did on New Year's Eve. It was fun. It got me to work on a lot of WIPs that I've been ignoring recently because I've been working on Christmas things. I said I'm too old for it. My back was killing me. Oh, sorry, I have to stretch out my legs here. Ugh. My back was killing me by the time 11 o'clock rolled around, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. But, you know, I might try it again next year. We'll see. Some of my other WIPs that I have haven't done a whole lot with recently, but hope to get back into soon. Up first is Sunflowers in Summer by Country Cottage Needlework. And this was part of my All About Me May. And I called it that because my birthday and Mother's Day both fall in May, so the month is all about me. So I'm doing this one on 2/2 on 28 count Autumn Field Lugana. And if you remember, I took the words out at the top, and I'm just doing the design. I had to make a few adjustments with like a few little bees and things, but and once again, I may or may not put some words at the bottom. We'll see how much space I have left. I could have started up a little bit higher up on the fabric, but c'est la vie. And Fairy Roses by Mirabilia, which is this one. And I changed the color. I don't know if you guys remember from when I was talking about it in March. This was another Mirabilia March start, I believe. No, I believe this was Aimee is All About Me start. Sorry. I should know. I should be able to look at it. Yes, it was May. I started it. And if you remember, when I pulled the color, this here was a whole lot greener than what I wanted. So I changed the colors of that part. And I'm nowhere near that part. I have... this is stitched 2/2 on 32 count Irish linen. And it's very thin fabric. I'm going to kind of try and double it over so you can actually see the stitching. So that's what I have. Arms, a head, and a torso. And my Mirabilias have not been calling to me lately. And so I've put one into my plans to at least stitch on one of them in January, and I'll probably switch each one out through the month so that I work on each one of them for a month, sometime during a month. But they're just not calling to me, so I don't think I'll be doing a Mirabilia March this year, unless something happens and that changes. Okay, and finally, this is my little pouch of Halloween / fall designs. Sorry about the ripping of the Velcro. I put these aside after October or November October to concentrate on doing the ornaments for my son's teachers. So these have not had any work done on them in the last couple of months. So just I have four. I have to get, and 3 of them come from the same magazine. This cross stitch Halloween collection from Just Cross Stitch from 2011, I believe it is. Yeah, 2011. So 3 out of 4 of them come from here. So first up is a spirited mandala, or mandala, however you want to pronounce it, by Ink Circles. And I'm stitching that on an orange opal lesson. As soon as I can find it here. There it is. And I'm using Bell Island ore from Brennan Needle to stitch it. And you know, I have praised them up. And I will praise them up again. They're a local Newfoundland company, and I love their thread. And this is the only design I'm using with them, but I'm still searching for more. And so I think that's the way it goes. Well, it's all the same whichever way you hold it, but I have the top corner done and down the side done. I'm very anxious to get back at it, and I don't know if you can see the opalescent in the fabric. Maybe you can see a bit of the glitter. And then next up is, let me find it in the magazine for you to show you the picture. It's called Happy Halloween, and it's by Aimee. Yeah, nope, so the sunflower seed it's by. There it is. And I also changed the darker orange that makes the lines in the pumpkin. The colors didn't match the DMC ones, so I changed it to acrylic. And that's where I am there with that one. And this is, it's 2/2 on a piece of Monaco that I dyed, a coffee tea dyed. Just trying to think, it hit me then that I don't think I told you. Did I tell you? I can't remember if I told you that I was doing Snowflake Wonders, the last Mirabilia I showed you, 2/2. It just hit me then when I was looking at my, on Ice Blue, when I was looking at my notes there. Sorry. I'm trying. Next up, that's my orange Kreinik. It's 027L, in case you're wondering. Next up is, well, this is a freebie. The pattern's on the bottom, but you can go to their website and get this pattern. So it's, anyway, I'll try and only show it. Smell My Feet by La Di Da, which is, I'm going to show the pattern. And you can get it for free on their website now. And I'm doing it 2/2 on Summer Khaki. The GMC. Yeah, and I have 1 foot. We're hobbling around on 1 foot, hopping around on 1 foot. That's a lot of black. But I think everybody has stitched this pattern. I've seen tons of people with it done, and it's really, really fun. And then lastly in this is Jumpin' Jacks by Sam Sarah. And I am stitching this on a piece of fabric that I dyed aqua, and then I coffee tea dyed it. And I have 3 pumpkins done. And I'm using all of the call for colors except for the color of the pumpkin. It is, it was hazelnut? Alright, gotta look. Yes, hazelnut. No. Alright. Yep. Yes, no, yes, no. Yes, hazelnut. And my hazelnut, well, another pattern they called for hazelnut was this one in the brown here, and the brown here was hazelnut. And I'm like, if it's going for branches, it can't be the same colors as a pumpkin. So I changed it to DMC 918 and 921, and I did what she suggested to do with the hazelnut. Is I'm doing vertical lines, 1 line of one color and then 1 line of the other color to give it some dimension in the pumpkins, to make it kind of look like it is a specialty thread. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for my WIPs, except for one I did not show you, which was the Cross Stitch Studios Sal for 2022. I joined it, and its theme was Under the Sea. And now, well, the year's over, so we all know it's a mechanical seahorse, kind of a steampunk seahorse. And they were releasing it 1 page at a time. And like I said with one of my other ones, when I do things like that, I get the lines, the page lines or the column lines. And between, I did, page 1 was the top corner, and then page 2 went under, and then page 3 went to the side. So I had the first 2 pages done. And then when I started 3, oh my gosh, I had this big ridge between page 1 and page 3. And it's full coverage and a lot of confetti, so it's really, really tight. And I said, that looks terrible. So I'm going to restart it on the same fabric on the opposite corner, and I'll frog as I go. And they released the whole pattern as one big pattern at the end of the year. So I'm going to restart it, having the whole pattern, doing my diagonals, which to me seems like I'm not getting the ridges by doing the diagonals. Although I'm really only doing the first diagonal on all my patterns, so we'll see if that holds true. And so at some point during the year, I'll restart it. It's a nice pattern. It's not something I would choose for myself, excuse me, but I paid for it, so I'm gonna do it. Eventually, maybe somebody in my family will want the pattern. Well, hopefully, or the design when it's done. Okay, where do I go from here? I go to plans. Oh, I'm sorry, this is getting long. It's like 45 minutes now, but I want to get a little touch on my plans. So, I showed you my planner a little bit. I bought this to help me get organized. It's not a fancy one with pages for each WIP, but this is just a calendar that I got off of Amazon. So I started this is January. Thanks to my scrapbooking, I did a little bit of decorating on the top and on the bottom. Oh, maybe just over here. And I've written all, well, I started with my New Year, New Start, and I put in a little picture of it. So you got, that's a little sneak preview. And then over here I've written down my goals for this month. So in January, I want to, on my new start, I'm going to stitch a Valentine's design. I'm going to use, I want to finish, oh, of course, I got these all piled up, finding this one. I want to finish Iris. Like I said, it's my oldest HAED. It's my smallest one. I've got like a page and a half or so left to do. So this is going to become my daily piece. I'm going to stitch. The plan is 200 stitches a day. Of course, yesterday I got 73 in, but I was so tired of stitching from the day before. Now, I'm away for 4 days in January for a scrapbooking retreat, but I'm hoping if I don't finish it in January, I'll be very, very close to finishing it, and I should have it finished the first week of February. And the rest of them are pretty general things, like I want to work on Fleur-de-lis. I want to work on a Mirabilia, which is going to be Adia because it's my oldest. Work on a HAED, but that's taken care of in another planned thing I have. I'm going to do the February piece of the Joyful World series. I have a few pieces that I finished last year that I haven't fully finished, so I put on it that I want to finish my Newfoundland and Labrador piece. I'm going to get it mounted. I'm going to get fabric mounted. I'm going to get a backing mounted, but I found something I want to add to it. A wooden home. It's written out like in cursive home. I found it on the Joanne's website. Now my sister and my mom are going to the States in March, so it won't be fully finished until they can get that and bring it home to me, but it'll be as close as I can get to it. I want to stitch on a winter chart in January, and I have one picked out that I'll show you now in a minute. And then I'm going to stitch the first my Fanny Designs Santa ornament for myself. I did 7 of them for my son's teachers, but I will actually want to do one for myself. Okay, so I decided to join WIP Go. Personally, I didn't post it up on the website or anything, but I did up my own WIP Go board. So the first 2 numbers have been called, and they are 6 and 10, and for me that's Pride and Prejudice and Queen of Hearts. So that takes care of my working on a HAED this month. I'll get to work on 2. My New Year's new start was, as you saw, a little tiny picture of, First Signs of Spring by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I'll struggle with that name every time I say it. I want to say Cottage Needlework, but it's not. So I have 4 picked out in this series, which is the A Time for All Seasons series. So I have this one picked out. I have Strawberry Harvest, October 31st, and whatever the snowman is. I can't think of the name of it right now. So I want one for each season so I can do the same thing of board and washers and magnets to switch the 4 of them out. So if you went back to my last video, you saw the fabric I bought, which was 36 count wheat, because I wanted the ancient linen. But I was told at one of the Canadian stores 5 months, and it wasn't waiting that. And I think I could have gotten it somewhere else, but anyway, I went to 1-2-3 Stitch, where I got the pattern and the fabric, but it was wheat, which is kind of like a yellowish beige, and so I stuck it in with some denim and some pearl gray dye, and I got this. And I think there's enough here to do 2 of them. No, it's a little darker on the other side, but I picked this side, and I don't know if there's a front and a back. And if there is, I picked the wrong side. Oh well. The only thing that I'm having an issue with is that the background design, I'll move up right closer, is done with Lexington green. And on there, now I know their fabric is lighter, but it looks rather blue. Mine does not. And I don't know if it's because it's on the lighter fabric or if it's the lighting in the picture, but it, to me, that does not look, let's see, I don't know if you guys look like that, but I digress. I stitch with it. It blends in quite a bit on my fabric, but I'm hoping the colors of the robin will help. And I know it's background, so you don't want it to be the focal point, but I'm not even sure you guys can see. Can you guys even see my stitches? I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't look that blended in real life. They're right there, in case you're wondering. It doesn't look quite so blended in real life. I'm gonna stitch it and we'll see. I might end up frogging that bit and getting a different color. But I've got another row to do, and then I'll start the bird and see how the bird makes that look. So we'll see. But it's all stitched and with the call for colors 1/2 on 36 count. This is my first attempt at 36 count. I'm not sure 11 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve was the best time to start it. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, but we'll see. So just a little touch on the rest of the things I talked about, because we're getting closer to an hour and I don't want to go that far. So this is the set I'm going to start with, and once again I have 36 count, and this is Edinburgh linen, 36 count silver moon, so it's very, very pale gray. And then the February design for the Joyful Year, I'll get it out, and a pair of mallard ducks, which my son is thrilled about. And I'm stitching it on 28 count Frenzy. Lugana. Frenzy is the color. This is what it started as, and it was a bit too bright, garishy purple. So once again my dyes came out, and this is what I have. And that's what I'll be stitching it on. So I went from that to that, and hopefully it'll look good. It smells like coffee. I put some gray and some tan and then some coffee, and then I actually took some coffee grounds and ground it into it, anything to make it a bit grungier, and that's what I came up with. Yeah. I have no control when it comes to the dye. And finally, oh no, actually two more. I said I was going to do a winter, and so my winter piece is going to be All Is Calm by Darlene Dion, and I'm just doing it on a piece of ivory Lugana that I had left over from some previous project. And my Valentine's project is something from Love. Oh, let me take it out of the plastic because that gives you a big old glare. Love Crazy by Lizzie Kate. And I have this piece of pink pizzazz that I found in my stash from years ago that I will stitch something out of here, some letters or something on this. I still made a mess. I think that's everything. On my WIP to go, I have a couple of new starts there. I only have one decided on, and this will be the last thing I show you. And I'm going to do the set of short sign designs from Darling Dion. So we've got autumn, winter. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to flash you. So autumn, winter, spring, and summer. And once again, they will all go on something that they can be interchanged with. And I have a piece of taupe Lugana that I'm going to stitch all 4 of them on. Which one I start first will depend on when that number comes up on WIP Go. So if it's between now and March, I'll start summer, and if it's between March and June, I'll start fall, and if it's after that, I'll start stitch winter. Yeah, and I think that, wow, we're almost at an hour here. I think that's everything. Any questions, any comments, put them below. I love hearing from you guys. I'm gonna come back next weekend for a short little video because Aaron is here today. He goes back to school tomorrow, so he's with his dad next weekend, and if I do that, that will get me back on track of doing them on the weekends that he's at his dad's, except for the fact that I have a scrapbooking retreat, and we kind of double up our weekends, so that because my scrapbook retreats always fall on the weekend that he's here, so we double up then on our weekends. So yeah, so next weekend, and then after that, I'm not sure. I'll celebrate my Flossiversary next video, and I have a couple of little thank yous for all of you guys that have stuck with me since the beginning. And enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.